You are highly underestimating yourself. Yes, right now, at this very moment. Because if I were to ask you to think about your finest outcomes, these are the very best case scenarios for the rest of your life. It's very common that any man thinking about that will immediately revert to this overwhelming feeling of doubt and inability that you may really truly want what you say that you want in life. But the problem is you are just not the guy that is able to do everything that is required in order to have it, in order to live it. A brutal truth to success in this world, especially for men, but this is not even really a gender thing, it's much more of a human thing, is that your process, which is trying, failing, trying again, being consistent, showing up every single day, the grind, okay, the hustle, that's most of life. It's very unfortunate that you and I live in a world that is built like this. Maybe if it could have a little less to do with the grind and the hustle and whatnot, and a little more to do with just existing in the best way possible, life would be a little bit more bearable, a little bit more tolerable to take head on every single day. You see, bro, I believe that self improvement is it is the possibility. I can't I'm extremely hesitant to paint my episode tonight as this like guarantee. Oh, I'm promising you, if you just listen to me, you will have everything that you want. It really, I wish it worked like that. Because then it's like, oh, I'll just listen to myself and I'll have everything I want. But when you start to take yourself seriously and you begin trying really, really hard in life, all right. It's the attempt every single day that you wake up to, start firing on all cylinders. What starts to happen right there is you create the possibility of making this beautiful union appear between your struggles and your challenges and just everything that is giving you a problem in life right now that you're forced to deal with. You are joining all of this and fusing it with a process that you actually want to continue to do and continue to live. That's that is this incredibly underrated part of self-help that I wish more guys were talking about. So, I will do my very best to do that tonight. And as per usual, go as deeply as possible into all of this. If you're not right now, then, well, that does beg the question of why not? One of the loveliest questions I believe a man could ask himself when you're thinking about success is why not you? No, like, seriously, bro. I'm not even messing around right now. Like 100% serious Sam right here. Truly. Why can you not make the amount of money that you want to make in this world? Why are you not able to be with the woman that you really want to be with? If you want a family, why can you not be a family man? You want to be a homeowner. What is stopping you from owning a house? Now, cue all the very real and at the same time very valid justifications excuses, and rationales that I don't know about you, but for me, when I hear these questions, mine literally begin to pour forward, like right in front of me. You know, um, I only have so much time, the economy, I have all these skills that I would need to learn. There are so many things that I would have to start doing and start trying. I'm already so tired when I get home from work. I don't even have that much time, like just on a weekly basis. I don't even have that much time to put towards this. What is that? 1 to 2 hours in the evenings after work, after the gym, if I make it to the gym? Okay. And this is my weekends too. So, okay. So I already work to be alive. And then in my time off, I'm going to work more to create the life I really want to live. That's life. That's life right there. It's brutal. This is the truth. It's so real. And it's not like any of us don't see this. Most men, they easily understand this. That is why self improvement is so off putting. That's why most guys will never chase success, especially in the 21st century. You and I are living in such a unique time period that is filled with all sorts of things you could do that doesn't help you have what you truly want out of life. The initial paradigm shift, okay, where I need you to begin filling your own worldview with different perspectives. You have to discard your old ones that no longer serve you. Most of those perspectives are the excuses. Now, once again, however valid and real they are, because the economy is kind of in shambles right now. You know, it is really hard to do it from scratch. Okay. I mean, what? If it's minimum wage, what is that? 2 to 3 jobs? Okay. What are you clocking, brother? 50, 60, 70 hours a week to do what? To survive. Just so you can be here for longer, just so you can fill the amount of time that you have as a human being. You, of course, as you know, we all think about this maybe once in a while, and it seems as though the older you get, the more you think about it. But we're all here for a very limited amount of time. Some get more than others, but it's limited because it will end. And you just want to be able to max that out. I do. I don't know about you. And so to do that, we have this biological motivation, okay, right? An existential incentive, so to speak, to continue drudging over to work, okay? Like a zombie, okay, shuffling in, clock out, very robotic, very autopilot like, so that the bills are paid and you are able to afford the small amount of leisures that keep your life going. The first perspective that a man must embody so that he can begin doing what is difficult is that for you, brother, yes, you, it is very possible. You have to move off of this. You have to. Everything rides on that right there, because the more that I try to self improve in my own life, the more I realize how difficult it is. It is pulling teeth, it is dragging my body, I'll say, across glass to get there. And it shouldn't be like that. I am doing everything that I'm supposed to be to get what I want. And who came up with what I want in life? I did. I'm asking for this. I'm asking to do this, to live like this, for all of these things. And so when you do that for yourself, you're going to notice it's going to immediately kind of spit out these steps, these journeys, these chapters, seasons of your life where you will be called to do all sorts of difficult things, because that's it right there. That's it right there. Pick any of them. And I'll try to keep it simple. Okay, just for me, bro. But if we were to use the traditional outcomes for your average man, that's just love. And that's a whole ton of money. And love usually leads to family if both you and your future wife are down and you're both like, let's go. Okay, let's try. Let's see what this is. Let's make some babies. And then we gotta try to raise these babies into upstanding people. Oh God. And in order to make all that money, actually do something that you care about. I know that doesn't sound too deep, right? That's just you and the wifey, okay? And then the family that y'all create together. And then plenty of money to make sure everything is safe, secure, and supported and comfortable, okay? Throw in some luxury in there too. How about we make that a little lavish? You want enough money to do all of that for yourself, for her, and for the Rugrats. And you want to be able to do this without selling your soul, right? No black market activities. You're not doing anything illegal. You are doing this in a honest, okay, right? Anything that God would approve of. That's yes, okay, great. You making your money like that? Okay, that's what you want. That you really do want that from the big guy. Oh, for sure. And so when all that's lined up, what else could you ask for? Well, that's where, individual nuance, all right, kind of gets weaved into it. And, personal tastes and preferences and your personality will kind of flash the rest of that out. But when you're just keeping it to these three main things, that's it. There's nothing else for me to say about these things, but that doesn't mean it isn't complex, that it isn't very difficult to pull off. This is, oh, good Lord, this is like Mission Impossible for the modern man right now. This trinity right here, because each one comes with its own unique challenges. The name of the game that this modern society, okay, is quickly evolving into for men like you and me, interested in self-improvement, interested in, okay, if I really push it as hard as I can, what could it really look like? What would happen to me and what would happen to my life and how would it be until the day that I die? That is something that can only be lived. You can only think about that up until a certain point. I believe you only need to think about that to the point where you have what you want. You at the very least, you have right in front of you. Maybe it's written down. Maybe you got a picture. Okay. If you're super cerebral or imaginative with it, you really just have it up here. Okay. I highly recommend you do have it written down somewhere though, so you can actually, externally speaking, you can see it. Oh yes, that's right. Okay. The Lamborghini, mansion, Cancun. What else is on here? Okay, bodacious babes. All right, the whole list, the whole works, bro. In order to really make it happen, you have to begin. You must. You need to start this journey. Knowing, not thinking and not believing, knowing that of course you can. You got to hold on to that. And you can call it whatever you want. No, seriously. Hope, delusion, okay? Cope, what is it? What are the youngins saying nowadays? Premium, copium. You call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You need it. You need it, bro. And there are some pretty cool and interesting ways to prove this to yourself on a daily basis. That is where we can now really cue in the actual actionable steps for self-improvement. This is where you start to attack your life one piece at a time. And where you begin is you have to look at what isn't helping you get closer. It's either helping you stay here, which is not closer to, you know, the let it be this dramatic sunset horizon, right? There she is holding the hands of your little children, and you know what I'm saying? A mountain of cash is behind them too. I don't know, bro. You paint the rest. And you're here for as long as you remain here, you ain't gonna be there, bro. But even worse is that you continue doing some of the things that you already are right now. You'll go further away. It'll take you backwards. It'll make it harder. It'll make it slower for you to get there. That's what it is. You don't even have to really call it self-improvement if you don't want to. I'm kind of dramatic like that, so I like to give this I like to give it this official title or whatnot. But when it really comes down to it, you are looking at, would it help me to wake up a little bit earlier? Am I willing to begin dialing back my alarm 5 minutes at a time? Five minutes earlier tomorrow, 5 minutes earlier the next day, 5 minutes earlier the next day after that, and just keep trying until my natural circadian rhythm, catches up. And I really am a morning person now. I really am able to wake up a lot earlier because it does. You are the freshest, you are the most crisp neurologically, physically. This is just my humble opinion. I do not know if the science backs this, but for me, I was a night owl throughout my 20s, extremely nocturnal. And well, what didn't help was I worked the night shift as well at my job. So, you know how when you get home from work, you want to chill, right? You want to take a load off, put your feet up, relax before you go to bed so that you wake up for work the next day just to do it all over again. That for me would begin at if it's early, if this is like early, then maybe around midnight I get back and my night begins. And then if it's like a late night, oh, it was busy. Then I'm getting back at around 2. So like my night starts around 2 a.m. So I was, oh my goodness, I was straight up a night owl. I lived, when there was no sun. And I never had mornings because I was knocked the fudge out during the morning. And I lived like that for about a decade, maybe a little bit over a decade. And, it was fine. But little did I realize that, one day I had the time and I had this unique opportunity where I was making a career shift. Okay, hold on. So, what if I really were to just try and start getting up earlier? What would happen? And I realized I enjoyed it. I realized I really do enjoy coffee in the early hours of the day. Okay. And getting up with the sun, going to sleep with the sun. And I actually felt more energetic. I actually felt more driven to try and hit my daily goals. Right? That's just one example right there, bro. And that's really, I wanted to say that's all there is to it. No, not necessarily. There is so much more, but this is the biggest one. If you are having trouble right now, just gaining some traction, right? Creating some momentum to move forward into a better life for yourself. Because when you ask yourself that, why not me? That is your entire life. And it's a wonderful question because truly, there's almost no answer substantial, strong enough to truly rebuttal the question of why not me? Because you can be, because the truth, it rules over everything else and it cannot be denied. It cannot be refuted, nor can it be destroyed. This truth that I'm talking about is most men, okay? This is the majority of us, you, me, Pretty much all dudes, especially single, especially between the ages of 18 and 40, alive right now in the States, American men. I say 18 to 40 because that's prime time, baby. You know, it's not that post 40 is gloom and doom. No, of course not. Okay. Respect to the Gray Kings, but it's definitely a little bit different. Okay. Just biologically speaking, it is. It does not make it impossible, nor does it make it all of a sudden it's no longer worthwhile to try. No, absolutely it is. I'm just saying, especially that age group of 18 to 40, all right? I'm on the tail end of this myself. That these few decades right here, oh Lord, it's just ripe. It's absolutely ripe with whatever it is that you want to try and do, brother. That's why it's so important for you to figure out exactly what it is that you want first. After you have that figured out, you can begin taking these steps. You can start small, you can start big. I really recommend you pick one, but you start wherever you want. Diet is a massive one. You are what you eat. Absolutely. It used to be just you are what you eat. Nowadays, for you and me, brother, you are what you consume as well. There's all sorts of content on the internet that triggers the crap out of me. And that's got nothing to do with anyone else. Seriously, that has everything to do with my own issues, just as a person, in my own brain and in my mind. So why must I continue engaging with content like this? I don't have to. I can make sure that everything I take in is positive, is something that is helpful. I'm learning something. This is empowering me. This is instilling hope within me. This is helping me reinforce what I'm telling you tonight. The one thing I want you to take away from this episode is, brother, you must know you can do this. You can. It's not an if. You are not separated by this, this vast and chasm of the unknown. It's really just a certain amount of unknown steps. And with each one you take, it becomes more and more known. You go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you reveal more to yourself, the very best of your own life. This is your best life because there is nothing else that you can do. It's very specific. There is nothing else that you could possibly do that is going to help you have exactly what you want. You want to be as specific as possible. You don't want to be general here because it just helps you map out the plan of action and what you need to do and where you should be going and how. It just makes all of that a lot easier for you. If you want to start in a general sense, that's perfectly fine. When I first started self-improvement, I had no goals really of any kind. It was really, I was just like, yo, I'm just in a ton of pain right now. I'm suffering like crazy. And I really just want my life to be better. I just wanted to be better, truly. And so I did anything that was well within my reach, right? Readily available for me to begin trying right now to do exactly that. And that's where my fitness journey started. And that's when I really started to cut out all sorts of junk, food, junk, virtual junk, spiritual junk. Dang, I got issues. I got unresolved regrets. I have childhood traumas. I have neurological issues I've never accepted and properly dealt with. ADHD. I don't know if you have it as well. I think that's the only one. I mean, if you are talking specifically about neurodivergence, you and I live in a world that allows us to get by without ever being truly tested. So if you are not ever tested, how are you able to know? How could you ever say to yourself, brother, no, I, yeah, this is what I want, but I can't have that. I can't do that. I can't go there. I cannot pull this off. Once again, why not, bro? I, I was that guy that came up with 1,000,001 reasons so easily. For me, it was just not strong enough, not tough enough, not smart enough, not handsome enough, not skilled enough, not any of it, not competent enough, not disciplined enough. There's no way. And it's like, to be honest, when it really comes down to it, that's all BS. None of that is real, because your real is just what you can do. And that's why honesty and truth is so important right here. It just comes down to, what can you do, brother? And men, including myself, this is where the conversation begins to get very uncomfortable, because at this point, when you look at, okay, I'm going to be real here, and what is it that I'm able to try right now? And it's just, I know a lot of guys that are running that hamster wheel, and that way of life, it really grinds you down, bro. You might already know what I mean. You might feel it already. It's a dream killer, because you grow up in an instant. You grow up just like, boom, you are out here, out and about as an adult in the real world. And so many of us begin as unprepared adults, boys in a man's body. And then you start, okay? School's out. And all of us, how many of us were celebrating our butts off when K through 12 ended? Well, I'm turning 18 soon. No more school. Let's freaking go. Okay, what up, world? What up, world? I'm here. Only to realize, oh, it's so much. It actually gets so much crazier after that, to the point where it makes you miss the good old days, as I've heard guys call it. Because what's grinding them down is, you go to uni, great. And then you get the degree, awesome. Congratulations, that's a wonderful milestone. And then you take the degree, and what do? You try to go get hired. And what do you do after that? You work till you're 65. Okay. You don't go to uni. Okay, then you're just a little bit ahead of the game. You're just in the real world a little bit earlier than your buddies, colleagues, classmates that went to uni. You just work faster. And you work till, and then and you start right out of high school. You go until 65. All right. And that's life. And that's okay. I know that it doesn't feel okay, because it's just, you wake up, you grind so you can survive. You get home, you're exhausted. You sleep, you wake up the next day to do it all over again. And that's where a lot of guys are at right now. And it's just like, what the? This can't be life. And this is where it gets a little bit scary. How is this possible? I don't have a woman. And without a woman, there are no kids. Okay, no woman, no kids. That's no family of my own. I mean, of course, maybe immediate family. If you have good familial relations, not all of us do. God knows. And then maybe some friends, or maybe you don't have any friends. excuse me, for so many guys, it's you're in that and you're alone. So then now it's just really like that can get dark quick. Oh, right. At that point, what would you need to give that guy to really have him spiral out of control, to really have his life just go right off the rails? How about vice? How about junk? How about addiction? How about nothing but Cornhub? Okay, only cans, just lobby after lobby after lobby, right? Call of Duty match after Call of Duty match after Call of Duty match. Okay, they're never gonna stop. Where are we at right now? We're on Black Ops 7 right now, right? Okay, it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. All the entertainment, all the distraction, all the just content to fry your dopaminergic circuitry. It's all there. And it's an all you can eat buffet. You can have as much as you want of it for as long as you want. And that can be for the rest of your life. And a lot of these guys, they're watching their lives go right by them. Right? You throw in substances, excuse me, you throw in substances as well, it's a wrap. Because then it's like, oh, it's like when I play this, I take a little sip as well, and it's dope. I'm gonna die like this. Okay, girlfriend, wife. I mean, there's an e-girl. Okay, I can build my own with this AI website. All right, take a little puff. Okay, I'm extra locked in, and I'm gonna die like this. And that's it. When that couldn't be further from the truth. And how can I say that to you? Because all you need to do is ask, what is my own truth? What is it that I want to do in life? That's what you need to take time to really sit down and get quiet and think about. What is it? What am I trying to do? As soon as you have that, bro, you have a plan. The plan will naturally begin to form by itself according to what it is that you want out of life. And that's where, maybe that's the first trial to initiate your holy rite of passage into self-actualization, into becoming the very best version of yourself that you and the rest of the world could possibly witness. Because that has to be the first wall of friction right there that you need to be able to take it head on and pass through. Because you're going to see what you don't like. You're going to find out something uncomfortable. Now that is a guarantee. You are going to run into something that you don't want to deal with. None of us do. That's why it's hard. It's why most never will. So then it comes down to it gets so real so fast, It comes down to when I take some time and chill, I get some chill time after work before bed, I can't do that anymore. I got to give that hour or two, I got to give it over to whatever it is. Whatever it is, man. You need to learn something, you got to learn it. If it's a class, you got to go. If it's a program, you got to join. If it's research, you got to do it. If it's a skill, it's a talent, it's an art, you're going to have to iterate it. Try. Make the attempt. And then if it's really extreme, if you are like literally, sleeping for like what, 6 to 8 hours, then you're conscious for 16 to 18, and you work for 14, okay, then it is like really extreme. Then it's gonna have to be on your day off. When's your next day off? And that's the time that you have. But that's life. Again, I know it is really hard to accept, but if you can, if you can, then nothing can stop you, because you're going to take that time back and you will be well on your way to everything that you want out of life. That's what this all really comes down to. And you make it impossible for yourself when you are going to begin. You're going to start all of this self-help, self-improvement, maybe even just the consideration of doing it all. You're going to start with, I'm not that guy. Brother, of course you are that guy. You need to embrace a life in which you allow yourself to show you're that guy, one step at a time, one day at a time. There is something I've had some really, I've actually had some really, really effed up things happen to me. I've never talked about it. I've never allowed myself to think about it, meditate it for at least a little bit. I've never gotten help. Maybe that's the first thing. Maybe if it is, that's one of the best things you could do for yourself, to get like really healthy, super, super healthy. A whole man, a self-secure man, a mentally sound man, a man at peace. You need these things, brother, because where you're headed is a very, very difficult life. No one's going to be able to tell you differently. No one could deny you of that, because anyone, any human being aiming for success in life will have to pay this price. I just want you to make sure for the rest of your life that you don't miss out on that opportunity to pay what is owed so you can have what you want. Because then I wouldn't know, because I'm not there yet myself, but God knows how difficult it's going to be to wake up one day and your entire life has passed you by and you can feel nothing but the agony of all the time that was never used, all that life that was unlived, because it was just too tempting. It was just too easy. It was just too comfortable for you to break out of that. Break out of the monotony and the routine and the habits that over years' time, they really cement you into a certain way of living, having you believe you cannot have what you want, but you can, brother. You absolutely can. And if you're looking for a little tiny corner of the internet in which another fellow is trying to do the same, by all means, you check me out here at the Pillars of Man podcast. That's kind of what I do. I talk a little bit about everything and anything that goes into God, movies, anime, bodybuilding, philosophy, all aimed at helping any man become the very best version of himself. Brother, I thank you so much for being here, checking all this out, hanging out with me, vibing. If you like content like this, you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You on Spotify, give me a follow. But honestly, wherever you find this, give me a follow, because I hope to see you again real soon for my next one. But until then, take it easy. Take good care of yourself. And I love you so much. Peace.